Very few people understand the stock market. Football Index gives users the opportunity to trade and make money with something they love, the beautiful game. So I'm with Spurs fan Lee, and we have just drawn 1-1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium against Watford. Lee, how are you feeling?
Resigned to it, I guess. I don't know. I don't feel gutted because you could kind of see it happening. Even though everything, like before the game, was all really positive, weren't we? But were we really putting a front on? I think I was.
I spoke to you before the game. You said 3-0. I said 4-0. Most people I spoke to were saying 3-4-0. They expected a reaction from the players. Yep. What happened today?
We didn't get one.
Why?
I don't know.
What's going on? When will we get this reaction?
I don't know. I just think if you're the manager, right? If you manage any sort of person, regardless of what it is, right? If they're not doing what they're supposed to do, and they're not giving you what you want from them, then you move on. And I just think maybe his loyalty, Poch's loyalty, is too much. He's being too loyal to people that are not showing that loyalty back. And that's just how I feel. I just think.
Who are you thinking?
Well, Danny Rose, I felt he's not the same player that he was. He's not taking anybody on. It's almost like he's playing for a foul. For me, it's like he's going along and he's waiting for someone to tackle him so he can buy a foul. And then he got caught out a couple of times today where it made him look stupid because he didn't get what he was expecting. But he's not going past anybody. He's not putting any crosses in. He's not showing any dynamism in at all for me. Aurier, I think, is just, I don't know where his head's at, because there was a couple of times even in that game that I thought, actually that's a stupid tackle from behind, diving in, stuff like that, out of position. So for me, them two, I think, just don't seem to be in it. Jan and Toby seem off the pace. They don't seem to be able to react quick enough, and their positioning seems to be out a lot more than you'd ever expect from them too, because we expect them to have such high standards.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know. You know, it just doesn't seem to be working. I don't think he knows his best 11 at this moment in time, and he's tinkering, and it's just not coming off, and everything's going against us.
But Lee, 9 Premier League games. We've won 3, we've drawn 3, we've lost 3. It's mediocre, isn't it?
Yeah.
For what we're used to.
The trouble is, every time you get some kind of level of success, and it depends on your definition of success, we've had this conversation, right? But whenever you get a certain level of success, expectations go through the roof. So Tottenham fans, like most fans, think that their team should just turn up, beat them, no problem whatsoever. But these teams are in the Premier League for a reason. They got there by their own merit. Mm-hmm. And they're not going to make it easy for you. They're not going to say to you, it's Tottenham, we might as well let them win, are they? They're going to play out their skins. And for me, today, I felt Watford played all right. They didn't just park the bus. They pressed, they pushed. And had
they got the early goal, which really matters.
But if they'd had a better strike force or better players up front, they could have had 3 easy today, I felt that they were a better team, and I think a draw flatters us.
What do you mean a punt? What are you on about?
Are you worried for the rest of this month? Because we've got Liverpool away next Premier League game. We've got, of course, Red Star Belgrade on Tuesday in the Champions League. Now, there's no easy games in the Champions League, but the Premier League game against Liverpool really does worry me. How do you feel?
Well, Dave over there just said he's worried that we're going to get done by 6 or 7. That's how he's feeling at the moment. And to be honest with you, it's quite hard to find any positives to take, is it, at the moment?
That was my next question. Tell me some positives, Lee, about Tottenham at the moment.
Think of a positive, Lee. Lamella's been quite consistent, which is unusual for him, because normally he kind of goes off the pace. But, you know, at the moment, I think he's playing quite well. So maybe that's a bit of a positive. And Dembele, I thought, changed the game when he came on. I thought he played well. Sonny, I thought, did all right. But that's not positive. That's what you're expecting from those guys, the quality of those guys. So it is hard to think of anything really, really positive.
Answer this, yes or no. Will Pochettino still be our manager at the end of the season? You don't think he will?
I want him to be. I believe in Poch. I think he's a really good manager, and I think if anyone can turn it around, he can. But I think he needs to be able to get the players in that he wants at the timing that he wants, using the philosophy that he wants. Right? Is he going to get that? And is he going to get that in time to turn it around enough to keep the expectations of the club? That's my worry. I don't think Pochettino will want to walk away. I don't think they really want to sack him. But I do think that sometimes when everything's going against you, things will come to a natural end. And I think it'll get to a point where it's just untenable and they'll just have to do something. And that really pains me to say that, because I've always had Pochettino's back. I've always been positive about him.
Are you losing faith yourself?
No, I'm not losing faith, because I've been here before. I've supported Tottenham for 40 years.
Yeah.
So I've been here before, and I've been through some really shit times, and I've been through some good times, right? And like I said to you earlier, when you look at Pochettino, he's been around for 5.5 going on 6 years. He's our longest serving manager since Keith Birkinshaw. We've had 17 different managers who have won sweet Fanny Adams over those years, right? So he's brought a level of success to the club which we haven't seen since the 80s.
Yeah.
But it depends on your definition of success. Is success being in the top 4? For the club, yeah, it is. For the fans, no, it isn't. That's why the other mob wanted Wenger out all the time.
No trophy, no, but constant Champions League football, yes. You happy with that?
Personally, no. I want to see trophies. For me, top 4 don't mean anything. You know, being in a competition, unless you're going into that competition with an expectation of you're going to compete and you're going to win.
Yeah.
What's the point of being in it? You might as well be in the Europa League and have a chance of winning it, and be in the Champions League and never win it. What's the point? How many years Arsenal were in it? 20 years. They never won it. Is that success? It is for the club, but it ain't for the fans, is it? But it's all about opinions, right? That's just my opinion. So.
Lee, how do you see the next 2 results going? Red Star Belgrade Tuesday night, and then Liverpool next Sunday. How do you see those going?
I think Liverpool. I hate to say it, because I hate Liverpool, but I think they're going to beat us, because I think they're on that where we're having everything going against us. They're having everything going for them. So I think it's almost a write-off game. Belgrade. I mean, we've got to get a result there. I think we can. I think we should.
Particularly after Olympiacos 2-2, Bayern Munich a 7-2 home defeat. That is a must-win, really, isn't it? The Champions League group.
Got to be. But we've got to get back to some kind of winning ways somewhere along the line. And if it's not going to be against Liverpool, then it's got to be against Belgrade. Otherwise, the doom and gloom merchants all over social media will be hanging themselves at this rate, and I'll be joining them. That's the point.
But with results like this, 1-1 at home to Watford, bottom of the table, are you still confident for a top 4 finish? Because every Spurs fan I talk to seems to be very confident for a top 4 finish. But when we can't beat Watford, who haven't won all season, and we draw 1-1, and I mean scrape to a 1-1. It's a worrying result, isn't it? Again.
It really is a worrying result. I think the last 10 minutes of the game kind of flatters us in that result. I thought, like I said, I think Watford were the better team, and I thought they probably deserved more than they got in the end. But sometimes them results go your way, and we managed to get a draw. I am confident for top 4, and the only reason I'm confident for top 4 is because I think every other team, bar the top 2, have this kind of form in them. You know, whether it be Chelsea, whether it be Arsenal, whether it be Man United, whoever the top teams are supposed to be. I think all of them have got the situation in them where they can go through this really poor run. So I think if our poor runs at the start of the season and their poor runs start a bit later, then so be it. You know, and hopefully our improvement comes at a time when they're in the doldrums. So I think it's all to play for. So I'm confident we'll be there or thereabouts. Yeah.
But the players out of contract, Christian Eriksen, Jan Vertonghen, Toby Alderweireld, would you rather them leave in January, or would you like to see them leave at the end of the season if they were to leave?
Personally, if they're not gonna play, well enough, if they're not going to play to the standard that we want, then they might as well go. You might as well get Pochettino to bring in the players that he believes are going to be the future of the club.
Yeah.
Okay. So if the players that he believes are the future of the club are players like Juan Foyth and Sanchez and stuff like that, I'd much rather see them playing consistently and building up some kind of relationship whereby they're gonna hit some kind of form and get some understanding and stuff. I'd rather that than have players just playing because they want to be on show for a move to another club.
Yeah.
That's just my view.
Lee, give me a prediction for Tuesday. Red Star, home. We're going to win?
2-1.
2-1.
To us, yeah.
I love your confidence.
Well, you just have to be there. We're Spurs, come on. We're
Come on,
Spurs.
you Spurs.
Go you Spurs.
Very few people understand the stock market. Football Index gives users the opportunity to trade and make money with something they love, the beautiful game.